Hey everybody, it's Michael Angelo Caruso here in another Present Like a Pro program. We talk about current events. We're talking about the live microphone syndrome today with Dutch Nye, one of my clients and owner of the Dutch Nye Funeral Homes in Southeast Michigan. Hi, Dutch.
Hi.
Have you ever been victim of a live microphone?
Yes, unfortunately.
Is it a story
I
you
didn't
can
say
share?
anything like some of those horror stories, but yeah, it's one of those. Hey, it's on. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. We see this often in politics because I don't know. I think politics are public domain, and so these political videos show up a lot more often than say business conferences where the video is not likely to be leaked. It's internal use only. Politics is public domain, so these videos show up all the time. And of course, if the media is in charge of the microphone, then of course they're going to leak it as soon as they can because it's compelling television when somebody's picked up in speaking into a microphone that they thought wasn't live. Now, of course, the best philosophy of all when it comes to live microphones is just assume it's on. Just assume you're being recorded all the time. Now, this takes on new meaning in the age of Alexa and Siri, right? Because we have these devices in our home now that are essentially a microphone that's on the kitchen table or the countertop, and it's picking up shit 24/7. When you get up in the middle of the night and you yell at your dog or the kids or your wife, or the wife yells at you, you know, and it's all of a sudden available for public consumption. So I always joke that I believe it was Thomas Jefferson that said, "Always act as if you're on television."
Good one.
But of course, it wasn't Thomas Jefferson at all. It was James Madison, this
Right.
president of the United States. So, having said that, it introduces all kinds of other quicksand for us to step into. For example, a lot of times we get wired up with what's called a lavaliere microphone. That's that little microphone that gets tucked up under your shirt or blouse at an event. And you get wired up before you go on stage. But then, of course, you have to use the green room one more time before you go on stage. So, the internet's filled with recordings of people who actually went to the bathroom, chatted people up in the bathroom, made a lot of noise in the bathroom, if you know what I mean, and their microphone's live the whole time. There are recordings, famous recordings of Linda McCartney on stage singing way off key with her talented husband, Paul, perhaps because she couldn't hear well that night because she wasn't a good singer. I don't know the backstory, but it's not a very flattering portrait of Linda McCartney. We have heard stories about catcallers and hecklers taking advantage of someone else's live microphone. So I'm the guest speaker, but someone in the audience is clever to know that if they speak up loudly enough, they'll be on my microphone.
Okay.
And today, Howard Schultz, who has announced that he's running for president of the United States, and I have no dog in the hunt, by the way, but there's a heckler in the audience. So the camera, it's a two-shot. So the camera stays on Howard Schultz and the interviewer, while the heckler has his way with the microphone.
Okay.
And what they're doing, what Howard Schultz and the interviewer are doing, is they're waiting for security to take care of this person and usher them out, which happens, but not until he has his say. It's like bad television, only he's not on television; he's just on audio. And what the moderator could have done if he had presence of mind is to begin immediately talking over the heckler so that the heckler didn't get the spotlight, right? So there are graceful and gracious ways to do that, but you have to have the presence of mind. What the heckler's banking on is that the element of surprise will be so great that you won't think to start talking over him, which is essentially what happened. So they're like, you're watching the two guys, they're like passive participants to the process. They have no control over what's happening. Howard's the guest. You wouldn't expect him to talk over it, although he had the ability to as well. But you might expect the moderator to say, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are not watching what's going on in the room right now, we've been interrupted by someone who has not had permission to talk during this presentation. And security is now taking care of the situation. And just him talking like that would have probably distracted from or made the other recording unusable. So it depends on how you want to play it. There's a lot of ways to work it. let's not worry about hecklers and so on today. Let's just worry about the fact that a lot of times we think the microphone's not on when it really is. A major announcement last night on the media that another bug in Facebook allows FaceTime users to call someone, and even if they don't pick up the FaceTime request call, their audio is switched on, and the person calling would then hear everything for the next few minutes. I haven't tested this yet myself. I just read it a few minutes ago. But it would be like me calling you on FaceTime, Dutch, and you decline the call, but now I can hear everything that you're saying. Everything.
Right. Oh, no.
Right? Now, I haven't tested it yet, and I'm really leery about reporting stuff before it's tested or corroborated, but that was the early report this morning. So what's to be done, man? I mean, how do we, what's our best practice as presenters? Well, one thing, again, going back to my old adage, is always act as if you're on television. And so what was really funny this morning as you and I got ready for this call is you had uploaded, as we always do in the Present Like a Pro program, I invite someone, a new student, to upload a 2-minute baseline video so we can see where you're at. And then, of course, at the end of this 6-week intensive, you upload another video, and then the difference is so stark, you go, oh my gosh, my time with Michael Angelo Caruso was amazing. I heartily endorse Present Like a Pro, online course, all that stuff. But it all starts with the baseline. So you uploaded your baseline video last night, and I logged into our session today, and because I was a little bit early, I thought, well, I'll check out his video while I'm waiting for Dutch to come on the line. And so I'm busy looking at the video and monitoring. I'm taking notes about, what I can help you with. And I didn't know that you had logged on to our call. So you're watching me. Essentially, I'm on a live mic or a live camera, right? And you're watching my expressions as I'm critiquing your video. And then I didn't find this out until later. And I said, I heard a strange noise. And I said, Dutch, are you on? And you go, yeah, I'm here. And I said, well, how long have you been watching me, man? But I had turned on the camera.
Right.
And this is the age that we live in today. So now, before I give you these techniques on how to deal with this, what were your impressions of my facial expressions as I'm watching your baseline video?
Well, they weren't as bad as I thought. You didn't cringe or stick out your tongue. It was okay.
You go, oh my God. Oh,
what was it? Yeah. Pull your hair out.
What a dumb shit. I got to fix this. Man. So the critique of you, I'm so glad I wasn't more
animated,
vivid about my critique. But having said that, I'm a human being, and so let's get into the strategy now for fixing this. I'm a human being, and my expression when I'm not on is called a neutral expression. Behavioral psychologists call they call it a resting face or a neutral expression. And you'll laugh because you're in the funeral trade. I tell people live when I'm teaching this, I say, a resting face you might not think is bad, but it's the same face you'll have in your casket.
Okay.
And I get a big laugh on that. I've gotten a big laugh on that in 49 of the 50 states and 5 continents. Everybody understands the joke.
Like it.
So the trick is, and I'll just do this quickly and we'll sign off because we've got some other fish we need to fry today. But the trick is to not ever be using a resting face, a neutral expression. The trick is to crinkle your eyes a little bit and maybe at least crinkle your eyes, but maybe upturn the corners of your mouth so that your neutral face goes a bit positive, right? This is the trick for a stray camera or a live camera, which is essentially what we're talking about today, the not getting caught with a live microphone or a live camera. And so I'll show you quickly how this works. This is my resting face. And I know what you're thinking, man, you're a good looking guy. but if I just crinkle, resting face is nothing compared to the little crinkle. Watch it now. Did you see it?
Yes.
And it warms my entire face. It warms my entire expression. It takes me from being a bot to a human being. Watch again. Here we go. I almost can't crinkle my eyes without the little upturn. And we talk about it as, I know something you don't know. It's like this little, or a warmth, or I'm slightly buzzed. Or, and I tell people, you know, when you're in an audience and you're listening to people, which we often are as presenters, that when you're listening to people, you do that little crinkle, you do the little knowing smile, and you nod your head just a little bit like this, which I call the drunken nod, you know?
Okay. Yep.
And it's a very, very effective communication technique. I highly recommend it in the case of an open mic or an open camera. Thanks, bud.
All
Listen,
right.
for those of you watching, if you're interested in the Present Like a Pro program, you can message me down below. You can check out my website, michaelangelocaruso.com. You can check out the Present Like a Pro Facebook group on Facebook. You must be enrolled into the group. And of course, I'm available for consults if you're interested in really taking your presentations to the next level. Thanks, everybody.